Welcome everybody back to the Market Breakdown channel. My name is Mark. If you're new here, you could hit the follow, and you could go ahead and hit the like button if you like. This week here on the Market Breakdown channel, if you're new, we'll be breaking down the Nasdaq on a weekly and sometimes a midweek basis. All right. If you like what you see, follow us and let's just jump right into it. So last week, guys, that we said the week ending in December 27th, we said that we were bullish on the market. So let's give a recap on the prior week before we jump into the new week, which will begin December 28th, right? We're going to be starting not only are we going to be starting a new week, but we're going to be starting a new month and new year. So you guys want to keep that in mind. Also, Wednesday, I believe that the stock market will be closing early, I believe, for New Year's Eve and close on New Year's Day, which is Thursday, January 1st. So it is another trading short week. You guys want to keep that in mind. And with that being said, let's break down these charts. So guys, last week we started out and we said that we wanted to be bullish on the overall market. Not only because it was a holiday shortened week, it was Christmas. We didn't think that they wanted to crash the market. And the overall market was going to be light in volume, and it was going to favor the bulls. It's going to favor the bulls. And right now, guys, we're using Henkel Trade X, which you want to day trade and want a broker that has a great platform, you'll want to hit the link in the description, and you can go ahead and sign up for Henkel Trader, which has the Henkel X platform, which you guys will like and get familiar with, which we're going to be using a lot on this channel. So anyway, guys, right in front of you, we have the 50 moving average. We have the 5-day moving average, the 20-day moving average, and the parabolic SAR up. This is just simple things that we use on the Henkel X when we're looking at our weekly charts. And if you want to take a look, we said this is a weekly chart of the Nasdaq. And right here, you can see that the week ended up green, even though the parabolics was against it. Even though we're going to take a look at it, on the daily, the parabolics, they were bullish. They were bullish. And if you look for the last 5 days, the Nasdaq was pretty much bullish. We said that if the Nasdaq would break this trend here, that we expected it to continue up higher, and that's exactly what it did. If you want to draw that out, you could use tools like this if you're new. For all new traders, you can walk along. And we could draw this line here from when we said it was making a U-turn from this bearish tone right here. We'll want to pull that a little further. And you can see that the Nasdaq just ripped. We could also make a draw a line on the bottom. Set forth this bottom, which we'll want to take a look at later. So last week, guys, you could see that we pretty much were bullish most of the week. We had a neutral day on Friday, which was a full trading day, but the tone was very neutral. The bulls really couldn't continue to climb, and the bears, if they wanted to, they could have got this thing down, but they didn't. So heading into the next week, guys, we're expecting this channel, the price range, to keep within this channel right here. If you want to take a look back on the weekly, we can, if we expect to stay in this channel, we can pair this parabolic move and turn the tides to the upside on the parabolic move, which we know if the parabolic balls are on top of the price action, that is a bearish tone. However, for all the new traders, when you're using the parabolic indicator, When the parabolic balls are on the bottom of the price, which you see here, for example, that is a bullish tone. We have the ability to tap that and create the bullish tone of the parabolic trend on the bottom this week. But the Nasdaq on the weekly would really have to hit this 26,000. And if we pair that up, it kind of stays within this channel. However, on a weekly basis, it can also pair back to 2,500 or stay within this range to about 2,550. And we'll take a look at that on when we jump back into the daily charts. So when we jump back into the daily, heading into the new week, again, we want to keep in mind that it's going to be the beginning of a new year and a new month. And if we take a look at the monthly trend, even within the channel that we drew, it's still a bullish tone. The parabolic move is bullish. The overall trend on the moving average is bullish on a monthly basis. Not saying that we can't get a little pullback. However, we've already tapped this moving average for the month and pretty close to it on the next month, right? So we want to be looking to be either flat or to bullish to at least start the year before there's any news. So when we jump back into the daily trend, if we're going to hit that 2,600, which we could draw a line, if we're going to hit this 2,600 and stay within this range, it's possible, right? We could have a pullback here and then bounce back up, or we could actually start the week off bullish and then bounce back to this line, and it would still be within the bullish trend of the week. All right, guys? So you want to see something like this with price action. Something like price action hitting here, possibly going down there, and continuing up. All right? And that would keep us within this bullish channel of 2,600, also activating the parabolic move on the weekly trend. So, being that it's a short week, guys, we kind of still have the bullish sentiment in. We have the bullish sentiment in for price action, and we want to see it stay within this range. However, if it does break this range, if price breaks this range right here, we could either look for it to bounce back up above the weekly 26, or it could just settle at 2,500. So you want to be careful in the beginning of the week. However, we are staying bullish, you guys. We are staying bullish based on the weekly trend, based on the daily trend first, the weekly, and the monthly, right? To kind of back our theses or our ideas a little bit more, we could go into stockcharts.com, which we use a lot just to kind of look at stocks on an individual basis and not the overall market. So if we wanted to stay Nasdaq focused right now, we could take a look at Netflix. Let's start looking at Netflix, and we have some preset trends in here and preset tools, if you would have you. And let's just take a look at that. We got the ultimate oscillator, we got the pricing no sure thing, we got the MACD, we got the Chanley trends meter, we got the slow scholastics, and we get the RSI, along with the parabolic, which we love to use, a couple of moving averages, the Bollinger Band, and that's pretty much it. So let's just break down a couple power movers on the Nasdaq to see if we have a possible likely ability to be strong within this next week, or if we're going to be bullish, or bearish. If we take a look first at the Netflix stock, we could see that Netflix has been beaten down pretty much all of December, right? They had the news coming out with the Warner Brothers, and they pretty much been on a downtrend. They look like they have been consolidating for the last week or two. So Netflix has the ability to bounce back to 100, which would be a key point that some investors use. So we kind of want to be bullish on Netflix for the week, guys. And if you look here at the slow scholastics, it's below 20. So this would say that some would say that this is probably over bearish. The pricing no short is below negative 100, which sets the tone that this stock probably has some upside. If you look at it right now, the stock hasn't been here in about 8 months, since April. This was when Trump called out the first with the tariff news. So Netflix has the ability to bounce back. And if you look at it against relative to the S&P 500, which this is, it has a negative 0.14 relative to the S&P 500. That tells us that this stock could be oversold and looking for some midterm upside. So that's just one stock in the Nasdaq. Let's hop over to good old NVIDIA. Come on, guys. You guys like NVIDIA. Everybody likes NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA is right now it's good relative to the S&P 500, but it's also just sitting at its 50-day moving average, you guys. 50-day moving average with a bullish upside on the 20-day. So if NVIDIA continues into the 200, you're looking at a 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day, which would be very, very bullish for this stock, okay? If you look at right here, that's the 50-day moving average with a trailing 20-day. So if NVIDIA continues to climb, we know that's bullish for the overall market. It's bullish for the semiconductor sector. And just its trends overall, wanting to pull above that 50-day, the pricing short knowledge, which we're going to call the KST, is below zero, which it has a chance to up its climb. And we kind of just like that. We really do. On different cylinders, the slow scholastics, it's above 80, which means it's going to expand on the Bollinger Band, which we see right here, pushing up on the Bollinger Band, which if you want to see it a little bit more close, you'll see it right here. So we're bullish on NVIDIA. Also, the RSI is above 50, right? Showing that this stock can bounce back and be resilient. Let's keep it moving. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft as well is actually below its 50-day moving average and in the middle of its Bollinger Band. We probably want to keep a look at Microsoft because the RSI is settling at 50. If it could make a push above, that would be good to contribute to the overall NASDAQ, but we do want to take a look at that into the first couple of days, especially Monday, to see if it could, if that RSI can push above and help the NASDAQ. But NVIDIA itself and the semiconductor train can be enough to kind of get the catalyst going. So let's kind of focus on that sector, and let's take a look at Qualcomm. Qualcomm is above its 50-day moving average, even though it has the parabolic SAR trend in a bearish trend. It is above its 50-day moving average. Its utility is kind of low. Its slow scholastics is low, which sometimes to me is a good sign, especially if it's above 20. it could be marked for a comeback, and its RSI is above 50. Who else do we want to look at in the semiconductor? Let's take a look at AMD, guys, real quick. Again, follow, like, and share. We're going to try to make you as much money heading into 2026. And if you need a broker to trade on, you want to head over to Henko Trader. Click the link in the description. It takes about 5 minutes to set up an account, and you can start trading. As we look into AMD, guys, I mean, AMD has a bad SKT. It's at 100. And we want to be on the watch for AMD because it doesn't show signs of being that bullish, even though its RSI is sitting at 50, right below 50. So we want to take a look at AMD, especially heading into Monday. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple, you guys, come on. Apple right now is sitting at 273, and has a chance to start a parabolic bullish trend. If all it has to do is hit maybe 276, which we could clip that on Monday, and the parabolic bullish trend would start. It's also above, it's sitting right above its 50-day moving average, and could kind of continue to keep this trend, because every time Apple within this year at least has hit its 50-day moving average, it's bounced back off of that. So we kind of want to take a look at that. Even though we're going to 2026, that would be bullish if Apple can bounce off of the 50-day moving average along with NVIDIA. That would be very, very good for Apple. Very, very good. Let's take a look at Meta, you guys. All right. So same thing with Meta. Meta is sitting at its 50-day. A lot of stocks are sitting at their 50-day moving average, guys. So this tells me a lot that even though this week can be a little bit more on the bullish side, we kind of want to watch the follow through, especially into the next week, because these things can reverse. And if we see all of these stocks simultaneously piercing below their 50-day moving average, that may not be good. However, this week would be a good test, especially going into the new year, and I think the sentiment would still be bullish. Meta right here looks to be sitting at its 50-day moving average with a bullish parabolic SAR. The vector looks good. The utilities looks a little bit bad, sitting below 50. The KTS is good. MACD still on the bullish side. And its RSI is above 50. So Meta looks good. Good old Tesla. Tesla. Okay, guys, let's analyze and break down Tesla. Tesla right now is well above its 50-day moving average. It right now has a bearish parabolic SAR band. The vectors, they're pretty much could be looking like it's could be on a short-term bearish downtrend. It could retreat, if you want to say, back to its 50-day moving average, which would be somewhere about 440. Its slow-moving stochastics is at 80, which would put it at somewhere at its 10-day moving average. So Meta could be somewhat neutral or could see a slight pullback, even though its RSI is at 57, which could be turned around. We still want to see short term, we could be neutral to somewhat bearish on Tesla. However, Tesla could be pulled back in the market if Apple and NVIDIA and a couple of the semi sectors go. The market, the Nasdaq is still push with a NVIDIA pullback. Remember, we still have Netflix that could make a turnaround. Let's look at good old Google. Google, still on a bullish trend, parabolic. It's looking good. The KTS has a bearish downtrend but can still turn around. MACD bullish. Slow stochastic shows bullish trend. And the RSI is at 58. So overall, neutral to somewhat bullish on Google. However, Google could stay flat or slightly bearish for the week, and the market could still go up based on Apple, Netflix, and Nvidia. Qualcomm look good as well. Let's take a look at. What do you guys want to take a look? Let's look at Amazon. Amazon coming off the holiday season. Also sitting at its 50-day moving average. We don't like the KTS that's below zero. Anytime this is below zero, guys, we're looking to be more bearish. For all of my new traders or people who's trying to learn trends or how we break down the market, the KTS, once the meter is below zero, we're kind of looking bearish. So on Amazon, even though it has a MACD, has a few conflicting trends and indicators, so which is good. Sometimes we want to see different things, indicators telling us different things, so we could go back to it. So we'll definitely be going back to and monitoring this week heavily Amazon, and I believe it was Tesla. Those two we're really going to home in on this week. And if you want to check it for your homework, you guys who's following this channel, you could go ahead and do that. The RSI is at 55, which we like, and the slow stochastics is above 80, which means it should be kind of bullish on the Bollinger Band. For that to happen, Amazon would have to go to 236 this week. So we want to look out for Amazon, and it would have to do it within the first couple of days. So these certain stocks would have to be bullish on Monday and Tuesday out the gate. Remember, Wednesday is a short day because it is going to be New Year's. So we're definitely going to want to look at Amazon and Tesla to see how they're moving. Let's take a look at a couple stocks, and I'm going to get you out of here because we kind of look and break down the market real quick. This is how we do it, guys. We get into a couple more juicy things, but just on the Market Breakdown channel, we're going to give you this and some other things on what helps us gauge the market. And if you want to learn more, you can write some comments and tell us what you want to see. We're going to take a look at two more stocks real quick, and we'll wrap this up. Let's take a look at Snow. Okay, Snowflake has a bearish KST. The MACD somewhat bullish, but it's off a turnaround. And although it's building somewhat of a bullish MACD, the price didn't budge anywhere. So it could be close to also starting a bullish parabolic SAR, but to me it would be very, very weak. So we may not get that much push out of what we call the secondary stocks. You have the first set of stocks, your I guess Nasdaq 100 companies like your Nvidias, your Apples of the world, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Netflix, Tesla, and then you have the secondaries, the ServiceNows, the Intels, the what we want to call the mid-cap Nasdaq. So if you take a look at at Snow, it can be bullish for the week, but it's one of those stocks where it could help in the beginning of the week and then reverse. So although the Nasdaq can be bullish for the week, a stock like this could be bullish in the first half of the week and then flip back and be flat. So we'll take a look at that. take a look at another secondary mid cap, what we would want to call mid cap Nasdaq stock, and that's Now, ServiceNow, which is a service provider, which provides many tools and software across many industries. So it's a good gauge that we like to look at. Right now it's at 155. It's below the KTS is below zero, so we're usually bullish looking. Looking to be bearish, you guys. Anytime that is, the slow scholastics is sub 20, so we're kind of just bearish overall. And the RSI speaks for itself. The RSI is at 36, which is very, 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 very bearish. If it goes any lower, it will be in oversold territory, which it could be right now. The last time that this is another stock that went back to its pre-tariff lows back in April. So there's a couple stocks that went back to its April's lows. So we want to kind of take a look at that as well, because we're supposed to be in a very, very bullish market, right? Market is at all-time highs while we have a lot of companies that went back to their April lows. This is the overall market that we're looking at right now. Again, we're looking to be somewhat bullish during this week. But again, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Will we be flat? Will we be bearish or bullish? What are you going into this new month and new year? Let me know. Let me know what stocks you guys like, what you guys think we should home in on, and like, share, follow. Again, if you need a broker that's very good, you can head over to Hanko Trader. Use the link in the description, because Hanko Trader right now would allow you to day trade, you guys. Not only would they allow you to day trade, but right now Hanko Trader is doubling your deposits. That's right, doubling your deposits. That means if you deposit $500, $1,000, they're gonna double you up, and it only takes about 5 minutes to sign up. You could use crypto, or you could use your bank account to link and make quick deposits, and they are fast with the withdrawals, guys. You'll be withdrawing before you even go outside. So again, Hanko Trade, you could hit the link in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. Once we are heading into this week, we are looking to be bullish based on these trends that we pointed out here, these possible trends here. I'm sorry. Guys have me on these possible outcomes here. The market can pull back. However, we believe that the market will stay within this range and create higher highs and a new trend, or it could be some new lows. But it would have to be a dramatic pullback within the first couple of days that we would think. If we're going to see a dramatic pullback, it would have to be the first day, like Monday. And if we don't see that, and the Nasdaq pulls back to this trend line, we look for it to be bullish. But we will tap in and see the status and share more with you. We thank you for listening in, and we look to be better into 2026 and help a lot of new traders on their trading journey so that they do not blow accounts. Don't blow accounts. Stop losing money, guys. Read the charts. Come over to Stock Market Breakdown channel and stop losing money. Goodbye.